I get it. I get it. I get it. You love me. What can you do? Happy Tuesday, everyone. So Kamala Harris is in the middle of a media blitz. She's done The View, 60 Minutes, Stephen Colbert, Howard Stern. She's been in front of more old farts than Brian Stelter's boxers. Last night, she made a disastrous, painful appearance on 60 Minutes. It was so bad, Joe Biden turned over in his grave. And after that train wreck, Harris appeared on The View, where she said she wouldn't have done anything differently than Joe Biden during the last 4 years. Well, except pick a better vice president. A fun side note, when the Secret Service patted down Joy Behar, they found a foot-long bratwurst and 14 pounds of kielbasa. But we'd be remiss if we didn't wish Joy a happy birthday. She turned 82 yesterday. Yeah, to celebrate, she hit a piñata full of sardines. Her cake didn't have any candles in case Whoopi Goldberg breaks wind. Meanwhile, Tim Walz visited Jimmy Kimmel's show last night and revealed he saved Kamala's number as my dry cleaner. The White House can always use one of those, said one man. You know, never gets old. But it makes you wonder, what alias does Kamala have for Waltz in her phone? The White House has promoted Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre to senior advisor to the president, which means for the next 8 weeks, she'll help the president make the transition from the Oval Office to his new home. By the way, what the hell was she wearing yesterday? Did you see that? Obviously, that's a jacket from the Charles Payne collection. According to the Wall Street Journal, pajama pants are now acceptable in the workplace.
Yes.
Prompting one executive to say, pants? In a recent interview, Hillary Clinton suggested prison for those who post misinformation. And once in prison, the cameras should be unplugged and the guards should be extremely drowsy. Finally, scientists have been able to engineer a bacteria that actually eats plastic. Upon hearing the news, Nancy Pelosi went into hiding. All right. Yeah, when all else fails. So Kamala Harris went on 60 Minutes last night and made sense for exactly zero. She spoke with Bill Whitaker, and to his credit, he asked some tough questions. But that's like giving a mailman credit for not stealing packages. True, Kamala got grilled like a house cat in Springfield, Ohio. A lot of hard questions. Of course, any question is hard for Kamala. Her IQ is room temperature at best, if that room is a walk-in freezer. But 60 Minutes was happy to help her out. Listen to this preview clip they released before the full interview aired on the subject of Israel.
It seems that Prime Minister Netanyahu is not listening.
Well, Bill, the work that we have done has resulted in a number of movements in that region by Israel that were very much prompted by or a result of many things, including our advocacy for what needs to happen in the region.
What the was that? Now, she's the only presidential candidate in history who needs a translator, even when speaking English. But get this, after Kamala got dragged online for that, it seems CBS helped her clean it up. Listen to what aired last night following that same question.
It seems that Prime Minister Netanyahu is not listening.
We're not going to stop pursuing what is necessary for the United States to be clear about where we stand on the need for this war to end.
Same question, two different answers. The White House hasn't seen a cleanup like that since they had to blast steam Biden's seat cushions. It's kind of a big deal. But maybe she knows more about the economy.
There are lots of signs that the American economy is doing very well. Better than most countries, I think. But the American people don't seem to be feeling it. Groceries are 25% higher. And people are blaming you and Joe Biden for that. Are they wrong?
We now have historic low unemployment in America among all groups of people. We now have an economy that is thriving by all macroeconomic measures.
By all macroeconomic measures, like, say, inflation, the thing that he asked about. Harris wouldn't know a macroeconomic measure if it slapped her in the face. Don't get any ideas, Doug. But are prices still too high, and does she know that?
And to your point, prices are still too high. And I know that, and we need to deal with it, which is why part of my plan, you mentioned groceries. Part of my plan is what we must do to bring down the price of groceries.
Harris says she'll press Congress to pass a federal ban on price gouging for food and groceries, but details are yet to be defined.
Wow, her voice changed. Did you hear that too? Apparently her answer was so bad, CBS made their own correspondent answer it in a voiceover. Now, her economic plan would add $3 trillion to the federal debt. I hope he asks her how she's going to pay for that.
How are you going to pay for that?
Okay, so the other economists that have reviewed my plan versus my opponent and determined that my economic plan would strengthen America's economy, his would weaken it.
But
my plan, Bill, if you don't mind, my plan is about saying that when you invest in small businesses, you invest in the middle class, and you strengthen America's economy.
Pardon me, Madam Vice President. The question was, how are you going to pay for it?
Well, one of the things is I'm going to make sure that the richest among us who can afford it pay their fair share in taxes.
But we're dealing with the real world here.
But the real world includes...
How are you going to get this through Congress?
You know, when you talk quietly with a lot of folks in Congress, they know exactly what I'm talking about because their constituents know exactly what I'm talking about.
So eggs cost twice as much as they did 4 years ago because the rich aren't paying enough taxes? Those two things have about as much to do with each other as Brian Kilmeade and fan mail. Wow. So what about her switching up positions like Optimus Prime doing yoga? What you got to say about that?
They say that the reason so many voters don't know you is that you have changed your position on so many things. So many that people don't truly know what you believe or what you stand for. And I know you've heard that.
In the last 4 years, I have been Vice President of the United States. And I have been traveling our country. And I have been listening to folks and seeking what is possible in terms of common ground. I believe in building consensus. We are a diverse people, geographically, regionally, in terms of where we are in our backgrounds. And what the American people do want is that we have leaders who can build consensus.
You changed your position on fracking, defunding the cops and the border because you traveled? Well, I'm going to Thailand next month. Maybe then I'll support men playing women's sports. When she says building consensus, she really means lying. So how about her specialty, the border?
There was an historic flood of undocumented immigrants coming across the border the first 3 years of your administration. As a matter of fact, arrivals quadrupled from the last year of President Trump. Was it a mistake to loosen the immigration policies as much as you did?
It's a long-standing problem. And solutions are at hand. And from day one, literally, we have been offering solutions.
What I was asking was it a mistake to kind of allow that flood to happen in the first place?
I think the policies that we have been proposing are about fixing a problem, not promoting a problem. Okay?
But the numbers did quadruple.
And the
under
numbers
your
today,
watch.
because
Quadrupled. Great. Now you've taught her a new word. It's going to be saying it all month. Well, CBS did what they could to salvage this train wreck. The whole thing was chopped up like a line of coke on the ass of one of Hunter's escorts. Still, she didn't make any sense. But does it matter? This entire media blitz with a month left isn't meant to convince anyone. Harris is irrelevant. She could be anybody. She is anybody. The apparatus behind her, however, is hoping you follow this media trick-or-treating and not pay attention to what's going on behind the scenes. Remember the Time magazine piece on the shadow campaign that got Biden into the White House? The alliance of left-wing activists, government, and media who forced changes in voting systems and laws, secured hundreds of millions in funding, recruited armies of poll workers, and pressed social media companies to suppress stories like Hunter's laptop. That's nothing compared to now. Governor Newsom just banned voter ID. Why? If not for fraud. Couple that with its massive growth in numbers of migrants in swing states since 2021, and you see that something's up. And it's far worse than the Democrats' awful candidate. I mean, she sucks. But that's a deflection from the setup right in front of us. You got to ask, why in God's name would they run something that bad if it mattered? They wouldn't, so it doesn't. What matters is that you see what's really going on, and it's another deep state shell game. And they win if you pick the candidate with an empty skull. Let's welcome tonight's guest. There's nothing funny about his failed marriage or his act. Actor, writer, comedian Jamie Lissow. He could have a series on his wild theories. Host of the Grift Report, Hotep Jesus. She's our court jester in her second trimester. New York Times bestselling author, Fox News contributor, Cat Dude. And when his stomach growls, female lions get horny. New York Times bestselling author, comedian, and former NWA world champion.
That's probably true.
Jamie, is Kamala's visit to 60 Minutes a bigger dumpster fire than your marriage?
Yes. Watching it, though, it seemed longer.
Yes. I know, we did too many clips.
No, the interview, though, you guys did good. So that editing was absolutely brilliant. I mean, it's horrible, it's disgusting, but it was absolutely brilliant. They ran the whole hour interview. They ran it through a filter.
Yeah.
And then it was only 7 minutes long.
Yes.
After they got, the numbers are right there though, man. Like groceries are like 30% higher. Gas is 40% higher. And it says here, Kamala is 30% higher than she was.
She definitely is enjoying stuff. She's enjoying time when she shouldn't. That's always a sign when you're on something, like when you're having a good time, but everybody's like this, holy what you talking about? Hotep, what'd you make of this?
Greg, I was raised in a middle-class household. I thought it was bad we had a brain-dead president.
Yeah.
We got a brain-dead vice president, too. We are doomed. But if I was her, I would fire my team ASAP. Because they should have never let her do any interview without a teleprompter.
Yeah.
At all. Because she's not fit for it. She doesn't have a brain. She's not natural. She doesn't know how to be real. And she missed her moment. If you look at, I believe it was the DNC, when she comes out on stage and everybody's clapping for her. Big ovation. And she's like, all right, everybody calm down. It's like, you're acting like a bitchy mom. Like, that's not what you're supposed to do. It wasn't presidential. It showed that she wasn't ready for the moment. She's not ready to be president. All she had to do was come out and just, thank you and calm the crowd down, or just speak. Just start speaking in the crowd. It just shows she's not prepared. I'm terrified if she actually gets elected.
You should be. Kat, once again, we must ask the question, what has she been up to for 4 years when she's getting worse?
I resent the fact that I'm expected to answer that question in a way that makes sense. Like, I have to make sure all my words go together and everything.
Yes.
And apparently she can just say whatever, and then they'll like paste something else in there.
Yes.
And,
Isn't that incredible?
And arguably, the job that she wants is more influential than the one that I have.
Yeah.
It's remarkable. It really is. I don't know what she's been doing the last 4 years. Either she's had nothing to do with all of this or everything to do with all of this, depending on what she says, because you can't take her word for it because her word kind of changes all the time and is all over the place. Mm-hmm. This was truly remarkable to watch. And again, I don't know why there aren't more follow-up questions.
Well, that's a good point. But also, Tyrus, how did CBS think that nobody was going to notice that they released a segment and then they took it out?
Because it was hard to listen to her answer the first time.
Yes, maybe they just assumed they could sneak it by, or maybe they just figured they'll take it.
Well, thank you for the question.
Yes.
We have a consensus of the message that we were trying to get out.
Yeah.
And that message is the consensus that is.
Yeah.
Okay, if anything, if you take all the stereotypes about us, one thing we do have is a rhythm. Okay? Okay, and we don't forget. That's
right.
the photographic memory and the beat of the drum. Okay? The rhythm's not there, and she can't even remember her own. But when they asked her about the gun.
Yes.
And I got a Glock. What kind?
Yes.
And her answer was, and
Yeah.
And Those were invented by nervous white people around black people.
Nicely done. All right. Up next, is the New York Times insane for trashing Trump's brain?
If you'll be in the New York area and would like tickets to see Gutfeld, go to foxnews.com/Gutfeld and click on the link to join our studio audience.
Click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You won't get it anywhere else.